Welcome to tonight's poker reflection. This is where we talk about the game, not just as a way to win money, but as a way to understand ourselves. If you're listening before sleep, just relax. Let's talk about poker and life. Tonight, we slow down. We step away from the noise of the world, from the rush of hands, from the charts and numbers that usually define our game. Tonight, we just breathe. This is poker, not as a competition, but as a reflection, a mirror of life itself. Poker is strange, isn't it? It looks simple: cards, chips, blinds, and bets. But beneath the surface, it's a world of patience, emotion, and quiet storms. It's the space between decision and doubt. It's learning when to act and when to fold. In poker, just like in life, we're all trying to find balance between risk and safety, between logic and instinct, between confidence and humility. Every hand is a story. Every fold is a lesson. Every mistake, a teacher. Tonight, I want to take you somewhere gentle, somewhere inside the mind of a poker player, not while chasing EV or glory, but while understanding the quiet truth behind every hand we play. Because poker, in the end, teaches more than how to win money. It teaches how to live. It teaches patience when the cards go cold. It teaches acceptance when luck turns against us. And it teaches courage to keep playing, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. There's something almost spiritual about this game. Every shuffle is like a new beginning. Every deal reminds us that we can't control what we're given, but we can control how we play it. And maybe that's all life really is. A series of hands, dealt by chance, played with choice. So as you listen tonight, let your breathing slow down. Let your shoulders drop. Imagine the table, quiet, dimly lit. The soft glow of the dealer's hands. The faint click of chips. You sit there, calm, present, unrushed. You're not chasing the win. You're just being. Poker is meditation with cards. And tonight, we'll walk through it together. The mindset, the lessons, the balance between poker and life. A reflection for players who know the game is not just about money, but about peace. About understanding, about playing your best hand, not just at the table, but in the world beyond it. So take one deep breath, in through your nose, and slowly exhale. Welcome to the quiet side of poker. Part 1. The Game and the Mind. The mind of a poker player is a quiet battlefield. On the surface, you see nothing, just stillness, a blank face, a calm posture, but inside, thoughts are flowing like rivers. Calculations, emotions, memories, hopes, all blending into one silent storm. Every decision in poker begins in the mind. You're dealt a hand 2 cards, small windows into possibility. And in that moment, your brain begins to dance. You think of ranges, positions, stack sizes. But beneath all that, something deeper moves. Fear, hope, desire, control. Poker teaches us awareness. Awareness of others, and awareness of ourselves. The best players don't just read hands, they read humans, the way someone breathes, the rhythm of their bets, the story their chips are telling. But to truly read others, you must first learn to read your own emotions. Because when your mind is clouded by ego, by tilt, by greed, even perfect information won't help you. You can study all the theory, memorize every solver output, but if your emotions control your decisions, the game will humble you. That's the truth of poker and of life. The greatest battles are not fought against others, but within ourselves. You fold a hand you wanted to play, not because you're weak, but because discipline whispers louder than impulse. You call, not because you're chasing, but because something deep inside says, this is the right moment. That voice, quiet, rational, honest, is what poker teaches us to listen to. In the game, as in life, clarity is a kind of superpower. To see the situation for what it truly is, not what we wish it was. That's the line between the professional and the emotional player. How often in life do we make choices like we play a hand out of position, reacting, not leading? We chase outcomes. We fear folding. We cling to what's already lost. Poker shows us this truth, quietly but consistently. You don't have to play every hand. You just have to play the right ones. And isn't that the same with life? We can't control every event that comes our way. We can't always choose the cards we're dealt, but we can choose our response. We can choose discipline. We can choose peace. Some hands are meant to be folded, some days too. You don't lose by folding. You preserve your strength for the moments that matter. That's something poker teaches better than almost any game. Success doesn't come from constant action. It comes from patience, presence, and emotional balance. Every good player knows the cards don't define the outcome. The mind does. And that's why poker is not just a game of math. It's a game of mindfulness. The quiet art of managing your inner world while facing uncertainty. To stay calm in chaos. To remain humble in victory. To keep faith in downswings. That's poker. And that's life. As we move deeper tonight, we'll talk about the balance between poker and the world beyond the table. Because as powerful as the game can be, it's only one part of who we are. The rest is life itself. Part 2. Balance between poker and life. Balance. That's a word poker players often forget. We talk about ranges, frequencies, equity, but balance. Balance belongs not just to the math of the game, but to the rhythm of our lives. When you love poker, it's easy to let it consume you. You wake up thinking about hands. You eat while reviewing sessions. You fall asleep replaying pots you should have folded. And little by little, the game becomes your entire world. But poker, beautiful as it is, cannot give you everything. It can teach you discipline, patience, and control. But it can also quietly take your energy, your emotions, your sense of peace, if you don't protect them. The balance between poker and life is like the balance between aggression and patience at the table. You can't always be pushing. You can't always be folding. There's a rhythm, an invisible flow that guides both. Some days are made for grinding, for studying, for improving, for chasing that quiet sense of mastery. And some days are made for stepping away, for walking outside, feeling the air, watching the sunset without a single thought of evening. It's funny how poker teaches us about control. Yet the greatest strength often comes from knowing when to let go, when to close the tables, when to stop checking results, when to give your mind space to breathe again. Because when we lose that balance, poker becomes something else. It becomes noise. A cycle of endless sessions chasing something we can never quite hold. And the game that once taught us patience starts to drain it from us. True poker mastery isn't just knowing the game, it's knowing yourself within the game, knowing when you're sharp and when you're tired, knowing when your motivation is pure and when it's coming from frustration, knowing when your play is art and when it's escape. Some players grind for 12 hours, chasing numbers. Others play 3 hours with perfect presence. Only one of them leaves the table at peace. In life, we face the same trap, thinking we need more to feel fulfilled. More money, more action, more success. But just like in poker, sometimes the best move is not to add more. It's twofold: to rest, to reset. Balance means understanding that rest is part of progress, just like folding is part of winning. Without rest, the mind burns out. Without stillness, we lose sight of clarity. And when clarity fades, so does our edge, in the game and in life. You don't have to earn rest, you just have to allow it. Because every time you step away, you're not quitting. You're recharging the very focus that makes you strong. Poker gives us the chance to learn balance, between logic and emotion, between effort and surrender. The table reflects us. When we're balanced, our play flows naturally. Decisions feel clear, time slows down. When we're unbalanced, even simple spots feel heavy. So ask yourself sometimes, am I playing poker to understand myself, or to escape from myself? The answer changes everything. To balance poker and life is to remember that you are more than the game. You are a human first, a thinker, a dreamer, a soul searching for peace and uncertainty. Poker is your mirror, but it's not your entire reflection. As the night deepens and the sound of the chips fades into memory, take a moment to feel gratitude. Gratitude for the game that teaches so much. Gratitude for the life beyond the table. The people, the quiet moments, the simple joys that balance the grind. Because balance isn't found, it's created. By every choice you make, both in poker and in life. Up next, we'll drift deeper into the lessons poker gives us, and how those lessons shape the way we live, love, and grow. Part 3. Life Lessons from Poker. Poker has a way of teaching lessons you didn't know you needed. You start by learning the rules, and somewhere along the way, you begin learning about yourself. The first lesson poker teaches is patience. You can't force good cards. You can't rush variance. You sit, hand after hand, waiting for the right spot. And in that waiting, you discover the rhythm of control. The world rarely rewards impatience, in poker and in life. The best things take time. You don't get to decide when the deck will turn. All you can do is stay ready when it does. The second lesson is discipline. Folding hurts. It hurts to let go of a hand you wanted to win. It hurts to accept that sometimes your opponent just has it. But real strength in poker comes not from holding on, but from knowing when to let go. In life too, discipline means walking away from things that no longer serve you. People, habits, expectations. Sometimes, the fold is the only winning move. The third lesson poker teaches is emotional control. Because variance doesn't care about your feelings. You can play perfectly and still lose for weeks. You can make one tilt call and lose what took months to build. Poker humbles the ego. It whispers, you can't control outcomes, only actions. And if you can learn that, truly learn it, you begin to find peace, not just at the table, but in every part of your life. The fourth lesson is acceptance. Acceptance that luck exists, acceptance that you'll make mistakes, acceptance that sometimes, even when you do everything right, life still deals you a bad beat. But the game always goes on, and so do you. The fifth lesson poker teaches is resilience. You'll fall, you'll go broke, you'll question your ability, your dreams, your path. But each time, you'll rebuild. You'll review hands, study leaks, and come back sharper. Not because the game owes you, but because you've learned that persistence is power. Poker teaches you to trust the long run. And isn't that what life is? A long run, full of swings, lessons, and moments that test your patience. The sixth lesson is humility. Because the game never stops teaching. The moment you think you've mastered it, it humbles you. You lose to a bluff. You misread a situation. You realize how much more there is to learn. Life works the same way. The moment you stop growing, it reminds you to stay curious, to stay humble, to stay open to change. Poker also teaches empathy, quietly but powerfully. When you play enough hands, you begin to see others, not as enemies, but as people navigating the same uncertainty you are. Each player at the table is trying to survive their own variants, their own fears, their own tilt, and that realization softens you. It reminds you that, at the end of the day, we're all just humans, playing the hands we've been dealt. Maybe that's the greatest lesson of all. Poker doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you wiser. It teaches gratitude for the ups, and grace for the downs. It teaches that losing isn't failure. It's information, that success isn't luck. It's consistency. And that peace doesn't come from winning every pot, but from knowing you played with honesty, focus, and presence. So the next time you sit at the table, remember these lessons. Remember that poker is just a small reflection of a bigger picture. You can't control the cards. You can only play them with courage. And if you can do that, in poker and in life, then no matter how the deck runs, you've already won. In the final part of tonight's broadcast, we'll drift together into reflection, into stillness, where poker becomes more than a game. It becomes peace. It becomes understanding. It becomes sleep. Part 4. Closing reflection. The quiet side of the game. The night is almost over. The tables are quiet now. The cards have stopped moving, and the room feels still, like time itself has slowed down. You've played your hands. You've made your choices. Some were brilliant, some maybe not. But it doesn't matter anymore. Because poker, like life, isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. Awareness of the moment. Awareness of yourself. Awareness of when to act and when to let go. Tonight, we've talked about poker, about patience, discipline, and balance. But beyond all of that, poker is simply a reflection of being human. We all want control. We all want certainty. Yet every day, life deals us random hands. Some beautiful, some difficult. And just like in poker, we make the best decisions we can, with what we have, in the moment we're given. There's comfort in that, knowing that no one truly knows what's coming next, that even the greatest players are guessing, adjusting, learning, one hand at a time. Poker humbles us. It teaches that no one wins forever, that even in victory, there's always another session, another challenge, another chance to grow. And so it reminds us, the goal isn't to win every hand. The goal is to play well, to play with integrity, to play with peace. You see, life is not so different. Every day you wake up to a new deal, new choices, new unknowns, new opportunities to make the right fold or the right call. And whether you win or lose that day, the only thing that matters is that you showed up and played your best. Poker, in the end, is a meditation. The table becomes your mirror, the chips your thoughts, the cards your emotions. And when the session ends, what remains is the stillness that the game leaves behind. That stillness is what you carry into life. The quiet confidence that you can face uncertainty and stay calm, that you can lose with grace and win with humility. And as you listen now, in this calm hour of the night, let those lessons settle in your mind. Let the thoughts slow down. Let the noise fade away. You are safe. You are still. You have played your hands well. The world outside the table will wait for you. But for now, just breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Feel the air move slowly. Feel your heartbeat soften. You are drifting between thought and sleep, between reflection and rest. And as you fade into the quiet, remember this simple truth. In poker and in life, you don't have to win every time. You just have to keep showing up, calm, clear, and kind. Good night, player. May your mind be still, your heart be patient, and your next session be played with peace.